Hello everyone. I need to make this video because this has been eating away at me lately. And while it may be cliched, I think it's important to mention so that others know they aren't alone. I was in an abusive relationship. The person in question will go unnamed to protect their privacy, but I still feel obligated to say, do not go after them, as the disclaimer says. That being said, here's my story. In December of 2018, I believe, I was sitting at home because I was fired from my last job on my phone because, as most people my age are, specifically on Match. I saw someone had liked me, so I liked her back. As After going back and forth, we agreed to meet. After going back and forth, I agreed to meet her. And I take her to dinner and at McDonald's. Yeah, not the best location, but it was a start. While at McDonald's, there were some serious warning signs that I did not pick up. One of them was she was against the LGBTQ movement. And before I say anything else, I wanted to make this perfectly clear. I have no issue with the LGBTQ rights. In fact, as some of you know, I'm LGBTQ myself, which I'll get into later. There are only two reasons I stayed with this person. One, I was honestly desperate. I wanted to have a girlfriend. Two, I was hoping to teach her about this stuff. But I do feel a sense of responsibility, and I regret that I dated someone who was anti-LGBTQ. I will get further into this later on. Our next date was a crucial moment in our life. No, our next date was a crucial moment in our relationship and possibly my life. When we went to one of my favorite restaurants where we had our first kiss, and also it was my first kiss with anyone. We also I will also go further to this about its significance. Now, a couple weeks of dating, and I recommended she watch a video from PewDiePie about a certain thing that was bothering me. She said she refused because PewDiePie is gay. I don't know if he's gay or not, and it's none of my business if he is. So I don't know if that's true or not. So whatever. Later on, I pressed the issue on her, and she said that being gay was disgusting and that, quote, okay. I I just want to mention this, okay? Trigger warning. Please, if you don't like this, if you don't like hearing about religious views and things like that, please skip ahead into what I'm to like say. I'm not good with math, but just please skip ahead or just don't watch this video, the rest of this video. I don't know. She said that, quote, they won't be getting into heaven. This should have been the final straw, but it honestly wasn't. Because I was too desperate to realize that this person was a lost cause, and I was too naive to think that some people are beyond help. And again, I do feel an immense sense of regret that I was dating someone so disgusting. We were probably wondering where the abusive part kicked in. She had threatened to take my phone away because I would use it in the bathroom too much. And she even insisted on putting a tracker on my phone in order to keep an eye on where I was going. She thankfully never followed it, but you get the idea. This was majorly invasive, obviously, but I was too afraid to speak out about it. There was also one incident where she would say if I broke up with her, I'd be alone forever because because she was the only person I had found. She was my first girlfriend, so but obviously that is a major manipulative tactic and yeah, I just can't it's disgusting. It's freaking disgusting. So how did this end, you might be asking? Basically, at one day I had to pick up my father from the airport, and I had time to kill. So I wanted to pick her out. So she told me she wanted a car, to be specific, a Subaru Crosstrek. So to be a good partner, for lack of a better term, I decided to go look at the car to see what it was like. Just see a nice looking car. Now, well, I couldn't buy it because obviously I had no money at the time. I would assume someone else would at least be somewhat humbled by this. She showed no appreciation for this small act of generosity, and I feel that she even berated me for it. Making matters worse, we were planning our next date, and she was berating me even further. She even called me stupid for simply trying to figure everything out. After realizing this person was beyond help, I broke up with her. I blocked her on iMessage and changed my relationship status on Facebook the night after. Nevertheless, the damage had been done. I know this was probably not as bad. This probably wasn't as bad as people as being beaten or even worse. Though I do feel like that could have happened, and I do consider this abusive. As I mentioned, I feel a tremendous amount of guilt that I associated with this person. She was abusive, homophobic, manipulative, and even crazy. I realized I honestly feel disgusted that had that I shared my first kiss with this person. And I know having your first kiss is not as significant as having your first time in bed having sex with somebody, but it was to me. It was a significant thing to me. I don't know if that makes sense. I'll probably kiss other people, but it bothers me. Nevertheless, I realized things after this relationship, certain things. The first is that I hate the state of Indiana, where she was from. The second is that I'm not cut out, for lack of a better term, nuclear relationships. And by that I mean where a boy and girl have to follow some unwritten but still significant rule book about what to do in a relationship, like kiss, uh, lay in bed together. I'm basically what I'm talking about is having like certain viewpoints about how a relationship is supposed to work. You get the idea. The third is that I must be loved for who I am and not for how someone else sees me. And finally, I'm not the man my ex-girlfriend wanted me to be. I may have masculine traits, masculine interests, I mean, but like American muscle cars and pickup trucks, but I realize that I'm a girl at heart. obviously you know that I'm transgender and I'm hoping to transition, but you also must know that I like men as well. I'm still considered I still consider myself straight, though I am open to dating other women. I don't know, it's a difficult situation, but still. I I guess maybe I'm bisexual, but yeah. In any case, I wanted to say this. I made this video for two reasons. One, I want to let other people know, whether they be men, women, non binary, whatever, that I want you to know that you're not alone. Abusive relationships are not a gender specific issue. Women can be just as hurtful as men, and non-binaries too. There can be non-binary jerks out there as well. But and gender does not define who you are as a person, as you may know, but you get the idea. And while I do feel a tremendous amount of and I do feel a tremendous amount of sorrow for men in those relationships, they do deserve better, and I feel that they are given kind of the cold shoulder in representation. The other thing I want to say is I'm sorry for not realizing who this person was sooner and letting it go on for as long as I did. My hope is after coming out of this, I want to come out of this a stronger and more loving person. I want to thank you for listening to this as long as it was. This is one of my longest videos yet. In any case, I hope to make more positive videos, a little bit less heavy handed than, Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. And I guess, as they always say, I'm Emily the Big Chipmunk, and go and spread that positivity. Bye.